Hello and welcome to the Power of Your Mind podcast, where we dive deep into the world of manifestation, the law of attraction, and the unlimited potential of your mind. You are listening to episode 268, Unlocking the Power of Manifestation, How to Supercharge Your Manifestations. I'm Jim Kellner, your co-host and comedy hypnotist, and alongside with me is the amazing Victoria Gallagher, our host of the show and renowned expert in the field of the law of attraction. Quick reminder, please subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. Now, Victoria Gallagher is a best-selling author of The Practical Law of Attraction. She's also the founder of HypnoCloud apps, HipTalk.com, and be sure to check out the new Believe Hypnosis app launching soon, or it might even already be available, depending on when you're listening, which will feature over 1,000 audios, including many new features, and it will provide life-changing audios for people from all walks of life about the law of attraction, manifestation, business success, and so much more. The goal of the show is to inspire you to dream big, live your best life. Each week, we discuss how to use manifesting, the law of attraction, affirmations, meditation, and hypnosis to create the life of your dreams. Hello, Victoria.
Hey there, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. How are you doing?
I am also doing fantastic. I've been so motivated working on so many different projects.
Love it. I was just thinking about this today. I have so much work to do. It's so hard to get caught up, but when you love it, when you just it's like, I really just love the work I'm doing. Even the challenges, it's like, I can't wait to get through this part to get to the good part.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. I'm in the middle of like 4 projects right now. And it's kind of one of those things I've advised myself not to do. But I think sometimes you have to just, just so you can detach from one project for a little bit, you just kind of like go back and forth. So, I write in my book for a little while, then I work on my course for a little while. Of course, we've got the big old app, always making some progress in the background. And, and then the last couple of days, I kind of decided that I was going to jazz up one of my sales pages for my passive profit and prosperity with hypnotic recordings program. So if anybody's out there wanting to take a look at that, you will see I've been you'll see I created all these cute little images myself in Midjourney. Don't you just are you still like using Midjourney at all? Have you been?
I don't use Midjourney at all. I don't.
No.
I went in there. I was trying to find some images for my book, but I couldn't get anything even remotely close to what I wanted.
Yeah.
Well,
I
have some pretty specific desires or requests. Anyway, go ahead. What?
Yeah. Well, even with that, like now it seems to work with really straight up everyday language. So you don't have to be too careful with your prompts. It just comes up with these amazing images.
I'll have to give it another try.
So I've been having fun with that, and life is good. Life is good.
Wonderful. So, today, of course, we are talking about the role of motivation in manifesting our desires. And so I'm sort of thinking, one of the things that I think a lot of people find that they sometimes lack is motivation. And so I think that what I have discovered is that really it's action, that repeated action kind of creates motivation for me. Where do you see motivation coming from if people are lacking it?
Honestly, when it comes to motivation, I always feel like it's a confidence and a belief thing. I always feel like the more you can get really clear and really hone in on, like, I know this thing is going to manifest. I just know that it's going to happen.
Makes sense.
That is, to me, what's going to keep you motivated. So I always like to visualize and just like hold the picture of the thing happening, because, it's like when we're motivated, we're much, much more likely to keep our vibe high. We're much more likely to take the actions that line up with, what it is that what we're going for. It's like, and it's also like when you're motivated, you're telling the universe that you believe. And so it's sort of like, to me, it kind of works as a cycle. It's very cyclic. It works kind of like a cycle. It's like, the more motivated you are, the more you're going to take action. The more you take action, the more you're going to believe. The more you believe, the more you're going to take action. And it just, really, the two just really go hand in hand.
It's funny you said that, because I was just thinking about this today, and I've heard it before, but I was just reminded of it today. That thought that, when you look around, when you look at this water bottle, you look at everything around us, it started as a thought. I think we've talked about that on the show before. It started as somebody's imagination, right? So your life and how it's going to unfold could be the same way, right? Or, I mean, it could just be bouncing around, going from whatever to whatever. But really, I mean, just thinking about it, like you said, using the imagination.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's one of the things I always, like whenever I'm doing seminars, it's just sort of like a, eye-opening experience for people, where I'll just say, like, take a look around and look at everything that you're wearing, everything that, take a look in your purse, take a look in your wallet, take a look at, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of things in this room that we're not even necessarily like aware of at any given moment, but somebody had the idea, somebody sat there and they had the idea and they were ambitious enough. And they probably, with each one of these things, they probably went through these moments of doubt or moments of lack of motivation or for every single one of these things. I mean, even this water bottle, this is like the next step up water bottle from the one that I had, the Hydrate Spark I use. There's an app. Well, the app kind of keeps me, yes, the app keeps me motivated to drink my water, right? It helps me to drink my water. And I have an app. It's probably not too surprising to you, but I have so many apps that help, that just help me to be motivated to do various things. Because some things I'm more motivated to do than other things. And with the things that I'm not as motivated to do, but I know I need to do, I use apps for those things. But my point was, at some point, this company, the Hydrate Spark, probably hit a roadblock. And they had to keep that vision in mind and, and decide that they're going to constantly improve and they're going to constantly move forward and they're going to manifest. This water bottle is going to work in conjunction with Bluetooth hooking into your app, and it's going to help people all around the world to stay motivated to drink water and to improve their health. And, so you just, you have to look at the big picture of what it is that you're ultimately wanting to accomplish.
And so it sounds like that's a great way to help your manifestation process, right? That staying motivated, and that's got to help.
Staying motivated is the key to manifesting anything. In my opinion. I mean, if you're not motivated, you're just going to be kind of sitting around.
True.
Sitting around doing nothing, twiddling your thumbs, watching TV, just flying by the seat of your pants, not really moving forward. And so motivation, that's the driving force. It's the fuel. It's the get up and go. It's the thing that's going to have you continuing to press forward and move forward. And and dig deep and do the things, even the things that maybe, aren't as fun. And it's the thing that is gonna help you to manifest those goals.
I need an app to get me to eat some more vegetables, maybe. Is
Yeah.
there a vegetable crisper? A vegetable crisper with I can put my kale in. So,
Yeah.
as we're talking about motivation, I mean, it's easy to get motivated. And you talked about, when you do a workshop or something, and I know we've probably all gone to a seminar, or workshop, or maybe we watched a YouTube video, right? We got all fired up. And then the next day we're like, oh yeah, but I'm tired today, you know?
Yeah.
So can you give us some specific kind of maybe techniques on how people can become more motivated,
Yeah.
maintain their motivation?
Yeah. So, like, first of all, I think it's really important to know why you want that motivation in the first place. Like, why do you want this? Why is this important to you? Go into even a meditation in your mind and just ask yourself, like, what's going to happen? What is this going to allow me to do that maybe is a benefit of the benefit that I haven't even really gotten in touch with yet? Because there's a reason why you set out to do this thing in the first place. And so I think, you really need to get in touch with what are your reasons? Why do I really want this thing? If you're feeling short on motivation too, it may go in the opposite direction. You may find that maybe you got in, you got this idea for the wrong reasons altogether. And maybe you just really aren't, you saw somebody else have this thing maybe, or you saw it on TV, or it's just like a fleeting moment. And you decided, oh, I'm going to do this. And then you start actually doing it and you kind of realize, okay, well, this isn't really that great. This isn't really something I really want to go for. And so I think really just going inside and questioning and asking yourself, why do you want this thing, is really one of the first steps that you need to take, and just really just do an assessment on that. Once you do find that you really do want to move forward on this, then I think just bringing the energy to that, making, keeping something always in front of you. That's why I think having, like having some kind of a vision board, or having some kind of a symbol or an object or something that just kind of keeps you looking at this. And, like when it comes to my app, I constantly keep something on my phone. My app is always actually on my phone. Right
Yeah.
there. Of course, I have my Monday meetings with my app developer, but I always have something. And the name of the app, Believe. I mean, that just, how can you not be motivated with the app name like that? But always just kind of keeping something in front of you. And I think incorporating it into your manifestation ritual, your routine in the morning, is just another way to keep whatever it is, keep yourself motivated. Writing in a journal, meditating, visualizing, doing a vision board, listening to music. Sometimes just listening to some music, some upbeat music, will help, keep you moving forward. And, and also realize that it's not just it's not just like the end goal that you're going for, but there's also all these little mini things that are going to happen that you can think about along the way, that just kind of keep you happy along the way, that the little breadcrumbs along the way, that, like those little tiny milestones that keep you moving forward. And you can just celebrate all of those wins. So those are just a few of my tips and techniques.
And I mean, I guess those help you get through the obstacles too, right? When you really have your why,
Yeah.
then it's going to be a little easier when something comes up and goes, nope, you can't go this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we really want that thing. You know, it was when you were talking about the why part, I was reminded, when I was in acting classes in college, um, it turns out, like, when you're reading a line for in a play or a movie or something, my teacher would always ask, you know, why are you doing that? And the idea here is that every single thing that we say or do as an actor, we need to have a reason why, because in real life, we have a reason why, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always a reason. Like if I walk, and this is one of the things that I see when I'm helping coach, like I was just working with a stage hypnotist who's starting out, and he's wandering all over the stage, just wandering back and forth. And I was like, okay, so why are you going over there?
Yeah.
I don't know. And so even as something as simple as walking across a stage or a room, we should have a why for that.
Mm.
It was really, just
That
really
makes
interesting when we're making those choices. It's the stronger your why, and I don't say you always have to, but the stronger the why, the better your performance will be.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And also, I would imagine too that sometimes when we ask ourselves that why are we doing that, it also just puts it more in our self-awareness, and we can be more
Sure.
more aware of um our actions and our behaviors, because maybe the person didn't really want to walk across the stage. Maybe he wanted to stay in one place. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and so it just kind of helps to, like, just for you to, like, really understand, like, why do I do this? Why do I act this way? Why do I want that? And it's such a great question.
Yeah. How about those people that they find, I think that people can struggle though with finding, maybe they're finding even like what it is they really want. I mean, even now I have a pretty good idea, but I mean, there's still a little bit, and I know this is probably why I'm not getting where I want to be sooner, because I'm still a little bit vague. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's what I want, you know? Um, how do we get that motivation in the first place? I mean, sometimes you're just sitting on the couch watching Netflix and your why is because I'm lazy or I'm tired or I don't know what else to do, So how do we find that motivation in the first place? Is that going to come from the imagination also?
I think it all ultimately, the imagination is the most powerful part of our being. And so I think almost everything ultimately stems from our imagination. I think one exercise that you can do when you're kind of stuck in that rut, or you're just doing something that's really, you should be doing something else, but you're just not doing it. I think you could also use the imagination to take you down the path of continuing that activity or that behavior. Like, how about if I just sat on this couch all day and I did nothing? And how
Yeah.
about if that just led into staying on this couch day after day after day after day? What's going to happen? And you start to, so I mean, people can be motivated by various different forces. They can be motivated by the force of the fear of what will happen if they don't change, they don't act. And so, what's going to happen if you don't take action, if you continue to stay in this exact same place? You're not going to really get very far. You're not going to be able to get the things that you want. And so that's away from motivation strategy. But then there's the moving toward motivation strategy that other people are motivated by. And so it's like, well, if I do take this action, if I do get up from this couch and I go for a walk, or I do get up from this couch and I sit down and I begin to write, or I begin to reach out to these people, or whatever it is that you need to be motivated to do, if you just think through what's going to ultimately happen in the end, you're going to be able to, start to feel that motivation, that energy is going to start to take over. And you can even start to see yourself taking the little steps in between. So you see the end result of what you ultimately want to do. Like, here's one that I like to do for helping people just to clean the house is, like literally you just sit and you visualize the house is clean and what it's like to walk through and be in this beautiful, clean environment. But then what did it take? What were the actions that it took to get into that clean house? And then you just kind of start to walk it back to the beginning. Well, I got up and I decided to put this one thing away. And then before you knew it, I took out the cleaning products and I started wiping everything down. And then before you knew it, I started to vacuum. And then you start to like actually infuse yourself with the energy that's needed to go ahead and take action on that thing. And, it's that energy that you create with the power of your thinking that's going to ultimately be the thing that's going to get you into motion. And I wonder, motivation, the two, the two words do start with the same 3 letters, actually same 4 letters. So I wonder if they have anything in common with each other, but or if there's any significance to the root word. But anyway, so that's kind of how I would, that's how I would get motivated if I was kind of feeling that lazy, lethargic, feeling.
I'd just like to add one thing. I would say it's okay not to be motivated and just do it anyway. I remember I was talking to a friend one time and he was going, if I could just get motivated to exercise. And I go, you know what? You don't need the motivation. You just need to get up off your ass and go for a walk or whatever. Just go do it. Stop waiting for motivation and inspiration and just take some action. Really, once you do it, you're going to feel better and it'll motivate you for next time too.
Well, you know what? That's a really good point too, because energy in motion stays in motion.
Exactly. Right.
And so you may not have the motivation, like you said, to just get up and do it. But if you got up and did it without the motivation, before you know it, you're feeling motivated because you're doing it. So absolutely, you're absolutely right about that.
And I know it's, just today, I had to push myself to go and go for a walk. Really, it was like, oh, I don't want to do this. But once I got out there, I was like, not a big deal. And it was over. And so I was not motivated to walk today. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Victoria, what is your one big takeaway that's going to help people to so they can start using it right now to start harnessing the power of motivation to manifest more in their lives using, of course, the law of attraction?
Well, I always, of course, being a hypnotist for the last 24 years, and, that's really my go-to technique for everything is, allowing yourself I think it can work miracles. I honestly, it is really amazing how powerful your mind is. If you go into, a quiet place, just shut your eyes for a little while, take some deep breaths, go into a state, take yourself into self-hypnosis or listen to one of my many self-hypnosis.
Nearly 1,000 already.
Programs. I mean, pretty much they are all geared toward motivating you. And, but if you're just doing it using your own self, I always like to teach people how to do these things themselves and not necessarily have to rely on an app. What if you're out in the forest somewhere and you lost your phone and you need to get motivated to get back to your place
to find some berries to eat so you don't starve.
So you just allow yourself to, to really I would say, you want to connect on all three levels. You want to connect with the feeling of why you want to do this. The why is so powerful. Then, connect with the assumption of it's already done. I've already done this thing. And in reality, if time is not a real thing, in reality, at some point in the future, you already have done this. Your future self has already completed this thing. So allow yourself just to connect and collapse time and be in that human experience of having already done this thing in the future. And then you can even say the words that go along with that image that, it's basically, it's like, oh, this is so, this is easy. I love it that this has already been completed. And I love the accomplishment. I feel so accomplished. It's so amazing now that I have done this thing, whatever it is. And you just allow yourself to step into that moment when it's already completed. And it's like, how could you not feel motivated when you are feeling it, you're seeing it, you're saying it, all of these things. And then just wrap that up with some post-hypnotic suggestions for yourself by saying, as soon as I come out of this relaxed trance state, I'm going to take the first step, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to go and I'm going to do it. And every day just say a few affirmations and visualize this being done, and incorporate that into your manifestation routine. And before you know it, you will have been motivated, you will have completed this thing, and it will feel amazing.
Yes, I got to tell you, everything that Victoria is saying is absolutely spot on. And I've used these techniques, and really, I know sometimes when you look at people and you go, oh, they were just always like that. I was not like that. I was not driven before. I was not excited to go to work. I was not doing the work that I love to. And you really can change. Honestly, start doing these things. Hypnosis, it'll change your life, and the visualization and imagination. I mean, really, what she's saying is absolutely spot on. Thank you so much, Victoria.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jim. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to the Power of Your Mind podcast. And I hope you found this episode informative and inspiring. Please do share this podcast with your friends and your family. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. And tune in next week for another inspiring episode. Until then, stay motivated and keep using the power of your mind to reach all your goals, your dreams, and live the best life ever with abundance and joy. Bye now.